student life in Cardiff may not quite be the same, but is quickly evolving. It seems like finally there's some light at the end of the tunnel, but that's not to say that isolation hasn't been challenging. Here to delve deeper is Arena, with MA student Amo George.
So the only suggestion that I would give to people who are going through isolation is, number one, these are times that, these are unforeseen times, like such times were never in our lives before, and I hope they are never in our lives again. So these are, yes. So these are unforeseen times. So all we need to do is, kind of be strong. We need to realize that the isolation is just for a few days. And after the isolation, the grass is always greener outside. So we can go there. And, there is a quote which says that an empty mind is a devil's lair. So just to make sure we do not go on the negative side of it, I suggest everyone to indulge in some activity that they are interested in. Now, my activities are gaming, music, and cooking. So I have indulged myself into that. Maybe I spend close to 7 to 8 hours of the day doing that. And by the time I'm done with that, I'm tired, so I go back to sleep. I've been sleeping a lot more in the isolation.
So you don't start negatively about the whole situation, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. So the only suggestion that I would give is keep yourself busy. Maybe read something. So reading always helps. Like books have always been my best friend since my childhood. So reading helps a lot. I have got a few books from my country. I knew that I would be under isolation for the first 15 days. So I got a set of 3 or 4 books that I really look forward to. And Netflix is always there. So just watch whatever movie you have never watched in your life. Go pick the genre that you would never think that you would never like. I'm not a lot into cheesy romance movies, but I have begun watching chick flicks after I got into isolation.
Well, sometimes we don't have a choice. And now is the moment for Netflix. Because after this, university starts and we won't have time for them at all. I guess.
Exactly. So I'm exploring a genre which I would have never explored if not in isolation. So the advice is just do something quirky. Just stay happy with yourself. That's what you can do and nothing else. Yeah.
So I also would like to ask you, so obviously the university is offering a lot of support to its students. So do you believe that there's something that they can improve to make it even better for people who are going through self-isolation at the moment?
So now where I come from in India, the mental health aspect is not considered to be a primary thing there. It is not such a huge thing there. So how I was raised is how, my culture, my environment, how it has been is that you always have to be strong. Like it is up to you to be mentally strong. So when I come here, when I learned about the support that the university is offering, I was actually stunned and astonished at the kind of support that you can get from a university for your mental health. So because I have been raised like that, maybe fortunately I am mentally strong. So I till now have not I have not come into the situation where I have to avail those services from the university. So that has been a fortunate thing to me. But knowing the fact that there is a service like this, like there is someone or there are some people who are ready to listen to me itself is a wonderful thing to me. So kudos to the university on that. Other than that, I have actually never tried the services myself, so I'm not the perfect person to comment upon them.
Yeah, I get this, but I think it's really important to mention that there are actually a lot of services available. So there are people for us, no matter of the question and the problem. So and actually I'm totally agree with you. Even if you don't have the need to search for that kind of a support, the fact that that there is a support available, it's comforting enough. So I totally get your point.
Yes, true that. Yeah.
And so my final question for you is, do you believe that this whole self-isolation is helpful and necessary, or maybe you're a bit reluctant about it? What are your thoughts about that matter?
About that, I flew in from India to Cardiff, let's say with 20 other people that I know. Like we Indians, we have made a group of ourselves where there are a lot of people, and we made friends before coming to Cardiff itself. Now, what I have seen is most people, just casually have been going out exploring the parks and everything. But I particularly didn't want to do that because I know for a fact that my immunity is strong. It's stronger than others. Like my childhood and my the way I was raised and everything, the nutrition that I have is comparatively, but it created a better immunity for me because I have been this person who doesn't get sick all the time and things like that. So it is actually strong, but that can also mean that I might be symptomatic. So the reason why I am self-isolating is not because it would affect me, but I do not want me to be the reason to affect the other person.
Yeah.
It is a new city. It is a new culture. I need to respect the people here. I need to respect the law of the land. So I do not want to go out being a harbinger of this virus. And that's the reason I have been self-isolating. So if you have to ask my opinion, self-isolation is absolutely necessary, because maybe the recovery rates is high in the youth of the country, but old people, kids, they are susceptible to this virus. The virus might take them down. That's the reason, if just by staying inside you're avoiding that small percentage of a chance, then you're doing a fantastic job. So I would say self-isolation is actually necessary. And an interesting fact, just outside my window, just in the next lane, there is a kindergarten school, I guess. So before the lockdown, from my window, when I opened the window, I could hear the sounds, the noises, and the chirping of all those little kids. So one of the reasons that motivated me to self-isolate for this long is those kids, because I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to come in contact with the places that they regularly come in contact with, for example, the street and everything. And I didn't want to potentially, affect those places. I didn't want to potentially just touch, and you never know. Like, since I have been in a flight with 200 people who have come from different places of the country, and I flew down to London. I stood in a queue for 4 hours. Then I had to do this entire journey from London to Cardiff. I do not possibly know with whom I might have come in contact with. So being a person with strong immunity, it is also my responsibility to not spread it around, even if there is a 0.01% of probability. So that's the reason I have been self-isolating, and I would say that yes, it is important to self-isolate.
I think that this is very respectful. The thing that you're saying is very respectful, and I totally agree with you. So, well, pretty much that's all. So thank you very much.
Whilst restrictions and sanctions enforced by Cardiff University have been relatively tame, with the vast majority of us keeping in line, universities like Manchester have taken a different approach. Students at Manchester Uni are currently occupying the Owens Park Tower to protest the university's refusal to lower rent and tuition fees in the pandemic. Although students across the country have been sympathetic to their cause, the wider media has been less forgiving for students in the pandemic. Here's Corinne with more.
So, obviously you haven't had much experience with it, but do you think that students having parties, like that behaviour, is representative of most students, or do you think it's more of a minority?
No, I think it's more of a scapegoat than anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's definitely more of a minority. The vast majority of people seem to be taking it pretty seriously.
Like you hear of a couple parties, but I've not known anyone like good personally.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
No.
So, have you seen any of the posts on social media of people kind of advertising their house parties?
Yeah, I've seen those.
I've kind of always taken them as some of them as jokes, because
I've assumed some of it was like, haha, this is funny.
Because it usually seems to come in response after somebody has posted about all these parties that happen or something.
Yeah, like someone's middle-aged mum complaining about the students on her street in the overheard group or something.
The Connect.
Okay.
The Connect Taste group is just slightly older people complaining about students apparently being the bane of their existence.
The best thing that I saw was some older man saying that some student houses of multiple occupancies are over 10 people or over 6 people, so surely we should legally be sent home. because that's over the legal number of people that are supposed to gather in one place. So we're like, we live here, we can't do that.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to get in touch and share your lockdown experience with CUTV, get in touch via our Facebook and Instagram at CUTV.